I started my life as an adult as a salesperson. And so in sales and everything that I have sold well, which is real estate and insurance and, businesses, I used STP when I started. And STP means see the people. It is effective. But it's 2024.
What does STP mean?
STP means see the people. See the people. And, they used to have little STP stickers when I was a little kid, but I think that had something to do with auto racing. And
it does.
Yeah.
Oil? STP? Is that like an oil brand?
Yeah. And they used to have the little toy cars, too. They used to have little toy cars, too, that you pull the little zipper out and then it would run. And those were called STP cars, ironically enough. But it has nothing to do with that. It means see the people. It means that all of your success, no matter how good you are, no matter how bad you are, good closer, bad closer, good opener, bad opener, smooth talker, non-smooth talker, you can solve all of your sales problems with STP. See the people. It means talk to more people. And it's
almost like relationships are important.
It means you need to talk to more people. Yes, it is definitely, yes. But it really means attempts. So like at bats.
Oh, okay.
So and they'll tell you about how many home runs Babe Ruth hit and how many times he struck out and all that. But at the end of the day, that's what see the people is. But in talking to you guys always use a term called what is it?
MPMO?
MPMO, which is?
More people, more often.
More people, more often, which is different than
I don't know that I ever used it as an acronym until I met you, and then I'm like, if you're going to say STP, I'm going to say MPMO. That's right.
I like it. I love MPMO, more people, more often, because it's 2024. And so now I don't have to go out and knock on 100 doors.
In fact, if you do, you might get,
Well, now people are getting shot and run off by dogs and all kinds of stuff, so we don't want any part of that.
I keep a dog exactly for that purpose.
I understand that.
Don't knock on our door.
You could come knock on the door, but
yeah, it is not a good idea. And you know what? I mean, I did door knocking. I used to manage a team of sales agents in insurance, and we did door knocking all the way up until 2014. And they may have kept on. I stopped. And it worked. It was effective, but it wasn't using any of the modern day tools. None of the internet tools, none of the organic customer growth, none of the paid customer advertising. And there's people out there that want to find you, and there are easy ways to do it. So STP, you can still see the people. You just don't have to knock on doors or make 200 trillion phone calls to do it. And that's blasphemy to old Mark, but new Mark totally buys in.
So
you're a big fan of MP. I can't even say it. It's
more people, more often.
More people, more often.
More people, more often. I am because, a couple of things, right?
MPMO. Sorry. I said MPMO.
MPMO.
Come on, MPMO.
So a couple of things. There is something to be said with the pure attrition, right? Like there is a skill that comes from that, and I think there's still benefit to it, right? Because people don't do it, you're gonna get a certain amount of people that other people are never gonna get a hold of, right? And it does take it, like it's just a grind.
It is.
So I do think that's effective, but I'm a huge automation and like leverage.
Wait, what do you always say? You always say you're the most ambitious.
I am the most ambitious, laziest person you ever meet. So my goal is to do maximum, like appear to be doing maximum amount of work and actually be putting in the minimum amount of effort.
Because I see you in such high esteem, I'm going to call you the most high return operator I have ever met.
That's fine.
I feel better describing you like that.
That's
I cannot
fine.
use lazy with my man Zach. There's no way.
Okay, lazy is not a great word for it, right? Because it's not like I'm not going to do any work, right? I'm not hanging.
All about efficiency.
The return.
I am, right? So like I want to build a system that can handle tens of thousands of people, right? And once it's built, it just runs. Like that's my goal.
I want that.
Right? And I would spend time figuring out how to get that system to be really good and feel personal, right? So there's all that, but there's just so many tools that allow you to make things feel personal that are automated, right? Like we do it at the gym. We bring new people in and we send them through a sequence. And I was on the phone talking to one of the people that was there coming through that sequence, and they happened to be asking me about marketing questions. And so I to my dismay, kind of, not really, I revealed the secret. I revealed the secret that she was getting these text messages, and she was replying to the text messages and was so excited.
Which was the point
she thought that someone was personally reaching out, and but we just timed the interactions appropriately. And so I told her that, and she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Really? I don't send you those. Nobody on our team sends you those. Like it just happens, right?" And that, I know that sounds silly because a lot of us, like if you're in business, you understand that there's those tools are available, but not everybody understands that,
and it's uses them effectively either.
That's true, because a lot of times what I find is, because I'm always paying attention and looking, because I get on lists and I subscribe to things just to see what they're doing, right? And what I find is I get things that are out of timing, or to me they seem to be out of timing, right? So I'll sign up for something and I'll get 2 emails back to back. It's like boom, boom,
right?
And it's like, shouldn't there have been a delay between those, right? And there's things like that they just feel icky to me.
Unnatural,
right?
Yes.
They feel unnatural, and so you remove that element of
possibility that it's a real person.
Yeah,
sometimes it's confusing. Well, I literally went on I responded to an ad yesterday, and I got so many. Well, aside from so many upsells, which I took advantage of a couple of them, but I got so many upsells and so many responses that
you didn't know what you got.
Not only did I not know what all I got, I really lost interest. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? If they're going to overload me when I have one question, which is how much is it? Which apparently can't get answered without booking a call. So don't even get me started on that. And so, good, bad, otherwise.
Was that who you were talking to when we came in?
No. I never did book the call because, first of all, they had a thing. Well, I'll tell you what it was. It was sorry if this is your company, some geofencing deal that I really liked the idea of, and I was going to find out about that technology, and I want to know how much it costs. So how much is it? And they said, we're going to send you can download the price list. So in order to do that, to give my email and my phone number. So I hit it. I didn't get that. I got 4 emails with other stuff, and I didn't want the other stuff. I didn't want the Facebook ads. I didn't want the Google ads. I wanted the geofencing technology price list. And it's probably in my inbox, but I just was like, you know what? I probably said a couple of not nice expressions and just let it alone. And if I ever get not busy enough, I'll go back and dig through it, and I'll bring it to you guys who know this kind of stuff and say, hey, is this good? So, yeah.
So here's the question. Back to the more people more often versus STP, see the people. And you said something interesting earlier, Zach. You said, I think there's value in STP and see the people. So here's my question. Can you really see more people more often until you go out and see the people? And it doesn't mean actually knocking on doors, but in order to get the messaging, in order to get the timing, in order to not annoy your ideal customers, do you have to actually go see some people first so that you understand what the people's desire is, what they really need, what they really want? And how do you, instead of saying, are you more people more often, or are you STP, how do you merge those together and how can you use both?
That question, so awesome. So I can only speak for me. The STP made me a better communicator, and it made me a better salesperson. So you get enough dogs sicked on you, you get enough doors slammed in your face, you get hung up on enough, and you learn some things about the way people want to be interacted with. And so there might not be a substitute for that, but there's a system for that. And so if somebody who's had enough doors slammed in their face, been hung up on enough times, and had enough dogs sicked on them, gets with somebody who's great with systems, what you can build is amazing. And so now I'm not the only person STPing. I might have a whole team of people STPing, or more people more often, and they're using his system and my experience to deal with those clients. And you can get an amazing thing for that. The deal is the STP people have to trust the more people, more often people. And the more people, more often people have to trust the STP people. So I can't hire a marketing agency that says, Mark, forget everything you know, do our system. And their system ignores what I know about the way these people respond. Because my 35% closing ratio might turn into a 12% closing ratio. And then when I hire new novices to do it, it might turn into a 3% closing ratio. And then I've literally just opened the window and threw pails and pails of money out the window.
Makes sense.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's definitely like this balance, right? Like you have to understand that there's value in the reps. Right. There's always value in the reps, right? And so the people that are like, I should not, like, I'm going to go back to manufacturing again, right? If you
did I not
yeah,
say
yeah,
you notice on every single one. Every single conversation,
if you
Mark.
spend,
I love it.
Like Mark, if you spend a long
Mark,
amount of time
are you a closet
in
person
an arena,
who loves that as well?
I do love it. I just read a manufacturing book 2 weeks ago, so I love it. So when Zach talks manufacturing, I get fired up.
Come to the dark side. But like, okay, so if you spend a long enough time in an arena, like that's where you have these ahas and this insight from there because you just have so many reps there. So again, with the lean manufacturing. So what's the difference between regular, like corporate manufacturing style and lean is they flip it, right? And you basically empower all frontline workers to solve problems.
Right.
And the better you can get at that, because guess what? The engineer that you got out of college, they're super smart and they're really good at solving problems. The problem is they're not familiar enough with the actual problem.
They lack the context.
And they insert their own context when they solve the problem.
Right.
And then it becomes a problem for the solution, right? Because it's not actually a viable solution. So the best combination is to allow the customer, right, or the line worker who is the person doing the thing that has tens of thousands of reps with this machine or with this thing, and you let them go, hey, if you gave me this, my life would be 10 times better and I could be more efficient and I could produce more product, more quality product at a higher rate of speed. And if you allow, like if the engineer comes down off their high horse enough to say, okay, I'm going to help solve that problem, but I need your input as through that whole process. If you do that, you will make, like, this is why Toyota crushes the game, right? Like, this is why they have no defect. Like, this is why they're so good at what they do, right? And same with Lexus because they're the same company. But, like, that's why they're so good compared to other automotive manufacturers, right? That's why they don't, because they let those people are joined together and they solve problems together, right? Because the engineer, it would be useless for the engineer to be out on the floor all the time learning how to run the machine. But it would be useless to try and teach a line worker how to become an engineer, right? And I think that's the same type of thing, right? If I find somebody that's really good at door-to-door sales and I don't hear what they have to say and I'm like, oh, well, we'll just build it like this and it'll solve your problem. It blows it all up.
The equivalent of the door-to-door sales now is calling, right? So just because you're not knocking on the door doesn't mean you're not seeing the people.
And there's still people knocking.
There are.
Crazy.
And you've done a lot of one-on-one sales calls. You've done a lot of phone sales calls or at people's house sales calls. And you're still seeing the people, so you're still understanding the people's problems. And you're still understanding what they need, how they operate, how they think. All those things, I think, are essential. I know they are for more people more often. So here's the bottom line, in my opinion, and you can tell me if it's not. You have to use the system to serve the people.
You do.
And so many people try
to build the system.
Just build the system and forget about the people.
Exactly.